Hello everyone. So this video is to give you some guidance on the different placements of Saturn in your chart, because Saturn is the main karaka or significator of your profession, your career, your pending karma. All right. So wherever Saturn sits, people usually have pending karma according to that particular house. So I'm gonna talk about Saturn in each house, and you can check with your own charts. So make sure you have your charts handy. It's not going to be ascendant specific. I've made a video which is ascendant specific. I've made a video on the 10th house and the impact of Saturn. I've also made a video about whether you should be employed, working for other people, or your charts are more about opening your own business and making money as a business owner, right? Because these are the questions that I get, and I think most astrologers, Vedic astrologers, get these questions. But this particular video is specifically on where Saturn sits. I will also try to cover certain signs so that you know if Saturn is powerful or not. So let's start. All right. So first I will talk about Saturn's strength and Saturn's weakness. All right. So Saturn is obviously very strong if it's in Capricorn. Doesn't matter which house it is in. Obviously the house matters, but I will first talk about the sign because the permutations and combinations are a little too high, and this is something you need to figure it out. I'll try to make more videos so that you understand the strength of Saturn. So this is a very basic video on the strength of Saturn and pending karma so that you can figure out how strong Saturn is in your chart. All right. So firstly, Saturn is the karaka of your career and profession because it's the original owner of Capricorn, your 10th house in the Kalpurush Kundali. So which is why Saturn is the most important planet when we look at one's profession or career in Vedic astrology. All right. So firstly, people need to understand that Saturn is the most powerful money giver in one's chart. All right. It is not Venus and Rahu. Rahu can be very, very powerful for giving money, but Saturn definitely has the power to take the career to a very, very high level, extreme success. Right. Let's look at the richest people. Right. The richest people have made money through Saturn. Saturn is the karaka of oil and gas. Right. Reliance, Ambani's, the biggest companies, the biggest business owners are oil and gas. Saturn is the significator of it, right? Iron and steel, Tata, right? Again, Saturn. Let's look at all the gun manufacturers, right? Gun manufacturers is all Saturn, right? So Saturn is definitely, the planet that gives you more money, but Saturn also is the servant, right? Saturn makes you work for the people and puts you in this cycle of Saturn, right? Where you're not able to break through this cycle of Saturn, right? So we will look at the strength of Saturn. So firstly, Saturn is very strong if it's sitting in its own signs, all right? What are the two own signs of Saturn? Saturn's two own signs are Capricorn and Aquarius. No matter where Capricorn and Aquarius sits in your chart, Saturn, if it's in those two signs, it is very powerful. Okay, so for example, let's look at a Scorpio ascendant. Okay, so if you're a Scorpio ascendant, Saturn in your third house is very strong. It makes a very strong combination for owning your own business because third house is the house of willpower and courage. And Saturn there in Capricorn gives great courage and willpower to start your own business. It may be starting very slowly, but it could take off once once everything is in place, maybe in your later part of life. And then again, your fourth house for Scorpio ascendants, very, very powerful. Saturn in the fourth house, construction business, into automobiles, selling cars, right? Saturn in Aquarius in the 4th house makes it very, very powerful, all right? Now Saturn exalts in Libra, all right? So let's look at a Leo ascendant, all right? Let's pull up the Leo chart. So in a Leo ascendant, Saturn is exalted in the 3rd house again, Libra, 3rd house, the house of willpower, courage, communication, short distance travel, all right? So Leos are usually known to be very powerful communicators, and if Saturn is in the 3rd house of communication, Libra, the sign of business, exalting it. Steve Jobs is a Leo ascendant with Saturn in the 3rd house, exalted in Libra, all right? So again, an example of a very powerful business person with a very powerful Saturn, right? So these are the places where Saturn is very powerful. These are the signs where Saturn is very powerful. Okay? So what are those 3 signs? Capricorn, Aquarius, and Libra. All right? Apart from Libra, Saturn is also very powerful in the friendly signs. Who are the friends of Saturn? Saturn is friends with Mercury and Venus. Okay? So in any of the Venus signs, Saturn could be powerful in Taurus as well. Saturn is also quite powerful in the signs of Mercury, which is Virgo and Gemini. Okay. Saturn is not very powerful in the signs of Mars. Saturn is debilitated in Aries. So now let's talk about where Saturn is weak. Which are the signs Saturn is weak? All right. So Saturn is debilitated in Aries, all right? It makes a person very lazy. Saturn is the significator of structure, discipline, hard work, all right? Saturn doesn't do very good in Aries, considers Mars as its enemy sign. So Saturn in Aries and Scorpio doesn't do really well. Saturn considers Sun as its enemy. So Saturn doesn't do very well in Leo as well, okay? Saturn and Sun don't get along, all right? So that's not a very good sign for Saturn. Saturn also doesn't do very good in Cancer. Moon and Saturn are very, very opposing energies. Moon is fast moving. 28 days it does all the signs. Fast mover. Saturn is very, very slow. Takes 2.5 years in a sign. All right. So a fast moving and slow moving combination. Saturn in Cancer's energy doesn't do really well. Saturn does reasonably well in Jupiter's sign. Saturn doesn't consider Jupiter as much of an enemy. Saturn does okay in Sagittarius and Pisces. All right. So these are the signs of the weaknesses of Saturn. Now we will talk about houses and the pending karmas of Saturn. So if Saturn, so you need to see how strong Saturn is. Saturn is in your 1st house. Okay. You have pending karma for yourself. All right. So in your chart, any chart, if Saturn is strong, for example, Libra ascendant, Saturn is exalted. Capricorn ascendant, Saturn is good, strong. Aquarius, Saturn in the 1st house. Pending karma for yourself. Good places to start your own business and being a business owner. Okay. Saturn in Aries, 1st house, not a very good place for Saturn to start your own business. It's better if you try to work or be employed. Leo, Saturn in the 1st house, Leo, Saturn in Leo, not a very good place for you to start your own business. You should look at employment, okay? Saturn in the 2nd house, pending karma for your family. 2nd house is the house of your family, all right? So you have pending karma for your family, all right? Saturn in the 3rd house, pending karma for your younger siblings, pending karma for communication, pending karma for your neighbors, short distance travel. These are the significators of the 3rd house. Okay? Saturn in the 4th house, pending karma for your motherland, pending karma for your mother, pending karma for your home, pending karma for the caregiving industry. Saturn in the 4th house, healthcare, could be real estate as well. Saturn, if it's good, if Saturn is exalted, if Libra sits in your 4th house, very good position for you to be into real estate. Iron and steel, anything to do with the earth, oil and gas, very, very good position. Saturn in the 5th house, pending karma for children, pending karma for creativity, pending karma for speculated businesses are seen from the 5th house, creation, where you put in money but you don't know what the return is. Speculation, stock exchange could be seen there. Saturn in the 5th house, right? Creativity, any industry that looks at creativity, creation. Okay. Saturn in the 6th house. Saturn in the 6th house, pending karma for your everyday work. You know, it's a good placement for employment, for people who are looking for long-term employment, want to figure out if they should work or they should be in a business, especially if Saturn is not strong. I've explained what strong Saturn and weak Saturn is. So if Saturn is weak in the 6th house, it's a good place for a job in as a banker, a loan officer, or it could be in healthcare as well. Could be a lawyer. Saturn in the 6th house could give you professions in the law. All right. Pending karma for pets. Saturn in the 6th house could be into looking after pets. 6th house pets are also seen from the 6th house. 6th house is also the house of enemies. Sports people earn money and success through their enemies. Saturn in the 6th house could be for sports people as well, right? Because when you are competing against someone, if you are a boxer, you have to defeat your enemy and only then you win, right? Saturn in the 7th house, very powerful position for Saturn. If your Saturn is strong there in a good sign, it's a great position for you to own your own business in partnership with your spouse or any other business partnership. It's a very good position for Saturn. If your Saturn is weak and debilitated there, it's not good for partnership of any kinds, and people should avoid businesses with a Saturn which is debilitated, or Saturn in a negative, in an enemy sign in the 7th house. Pending karma for your spouse, pending karma for partnership. Saturn gives pending karma in the 7th house for your wife or your husband, for your business partners, pending karma there. Saturn in the 8th house, people leave legacy with Saturn in the 8th house. All right. Legendary authors, movie stars, musicians, people who are remembered after their death. Pending karma for occult signs. Astrologers can be seen from Saturn in the 8th house. Pending karma for in-laws. 8th house is the house of in-laws. Right? Saturn in the 9th house. Pending karma for your gurus, your teachers. Pending karma of travel. You have to travel certain places. Saturn will make sure that you have pending karma. You do your pending karma for your gurus and your father. Pending karma for your father. Pending karma for your higher learning. It could delay your higher learning. These are people who may not be able to pass their post-graduation at one go, but may have later on in their life, they might be very, very educated and highly qualified people. All right. Saturn in your 10th house, very powerful position for Saturn. All right, especially if it's in a good sign like Aquarius, Libra, Capricorn, Taurus. Good sign for Saturn. All right, makes a person very disciplined and organized in anything that they do. All right, good employees to have. If you want to start your business and your Lagna Lord is also favoring, this is a very good position for Saturn to start your own business. It's good for work and to be employed, right? Especially if Saturn is powerful there. Pending karma for a lot of things. Pending karma for your employer. Saturn in the 10th house. Pending karma for a person who employs you. Saturn in the 11th house. Saturn, pending karma for your older siblings. Pending karma for your friends, your network circle. Good position for Saturn to earn a lot of money, because 11th house is the house of gains, incoming wealth. All right. But if Saturn is in the 11th house, the wealth doesn't come in your young age. You know, it might come in your late 30s or early 40s. And when it comes, it makes sure that you get good returns. So Saturn in the 11th house, especially if it's strong, if you've started a business in your early 30s, you might get great returns in your late 30s and 40s. especially if the business is related to Saturn and your Lagna Lord is favoring, your 7th house is favoring. Remember, the houses you need to remember for owning a good business. It's your 1st house, 7th house, 10th house, and your 3rd house of willpower, courage. These 3 houses need to be strong for you to make money in business. If they are not strong and your 6th house is stronger than your 7th house, you should look at employment. And your Saturn is sitting in 6th, 8th and the 12th house and it's not very strong, you should always consider working for other people than considering to start your own business. Saturn in the 12th house, very interesting. Saturn in the 12th house. Doctors can be seen from Saturn in the 12th house. Tarot card readers, astrologers, healers, pending karma in foreign lands, pending karma in solitude, pending karma in everything to do with the 12th house realm, pending karma for looking after people in hospitals, pending karma for doctors, nurses, to look after patients, people are not well, old age homes, monasteries, right? Solitude. Foreigners, people from foreign lands, spending karma with people from foreign lands, Saturn in the 12th house. Okay, so I hope this video is helpful so that you get some guidance in your career and what your calling is, what is Saturn trying to tell you through Vedic astrology. I have made quite a few videos on your jobs and your business and your career. I hope you've watched those videos, and if you have any questions, and I'm happy to answer your questions. Post your questions on my comments or get in touch with me. Thank you very much for your time. Talk to you soon.